Every voice carries a story, every story carries a lesson, and every lesson can become a lifeline. On Voices of Resiliency, we sit down with warriors, healers, leaders, and everyday people who have walked through fire and found a way forward.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to another episode of Voices of Resiliency with my co-host, Michael Pellegrino. How are you, Michael?
We're doing great, my friend. Doing great, Kris. Thank you.
So we just had Dr. Ariana Fontenot on our show, and wow. Go ahead and tell us what happened.
Well, she is a wealth of knowledge, but one of the things that really stood out to me, and she has told me this before, that 1 hour of exercise is not going to break 23 hours of bad habits. And that is something that she is very adamant about, that the math just doesn't equate. And when the math doesn't equate, you have to be able to have that balance in your life, to have that, have that motion. And she really broke it down really nicely in this episode. And hopefully everybody enjoyed it.
I don't see how you can't. I mean, she just gives you the most basic adjustments to your already existing life that'll make huge improvements in your overall well-being. And to me, that's as good as it gets when it comes to helping people be more resilient, is actually just breaking it down to the most basic fundamental behaviors and actions that you can possibly adjust. And tying your shoes, that's about as simple as it gets, I think.
Tying your shoes. Now she's working a lot with corporations and big organizations to help them with not only office furniture, but she's gotten me pillows for the airplane. So, it keeps your back straight. She's gotten me this device where I bought it off of Amazon that makes my eyes level with the computer while looking at your cell phone. Something as much as looking at your cell phone. How many hours a day do we look at our cell phone that we're constantly moving our neck, that we get them pains and have all these things that are out of alignment? And one of the things that I really love that she said is before you have any type of surgery, I think I can fix you, or I know I can fix you. So in one session, we can get you fixed without having that surgery. And that's something that's she doesn't take lightly, because I know she's very involved with the community as well too.
Well, that's an awfully confident stance to take, and I believe that she backs it up 100%.
Me too.
So let's talk about our next guest. When we mentioned the word confidence, I think it's safe to use it to describe Matthew Whiz Buckley. And I'm wearing Whiz's personal shirts and hat, as he gave me when I was on his podcast last year. And I met him for the first time about a year and a half ago. And what an impressive individual. I'm going to read some of his accomplishments, I guess, and kind of give a little bit of an overview before we talk about him and his visit. Stay with me, okay? He's a former U.S. Navy F-18 Hornet fighter pilot, Top Gun graduate, known for translating high-stakes military lessons into business, leadership, trading, veteran advocacy. Public bios describe him as decorated fighter pilot, Wall Street executive, entrepreneur, speaker, author, podcast host, and nonprofit founder. He flew 44 combat sorties over Iraq. He's the former managing director of strategy at Peak 6 Investments, described as one of the largest volatility arbitrage option trading firms, founder and CEO of Peak 6 Media, parent company of Options News Network, founder CEO of TOPGUN Options, a financial education trading platform that applies fighter pilot discipline and risk management concepts to trading. He's founder and CEO of Strike Fighter Financial, a private financial consulting business platform. He's founder of No Fallen Heroes Foundation, this logo, focused on supporting healing for veterans and first responders. He's founder of Sacred Warrior Fellowship, listed in his public bio, and that's his church, his plant medicine church. And he's the host of Max Afterburner Podcast, and that is ranked in the top 2.5% of podcasts globally. He's the author of From Sea Level to Sea Level, about transitioning from military life to business leadership. international motivational leadership speaker focused on education, resilience, decision making, risk management, and peak performance.
I feel like an underachiever.
I didn't even finish it all, but I feel like we've covered Matt and Wiz very well. And also, can we just talk about the fact he's a family man and he's very involved in his children's life? He does so many things for other people, and he is just the go-to for the media when they need someone to talk to. He's the go-to for people when you need help. He's answered the phone for me in times when I just needed someone to talk to who understood me. And he's a patriot and he's a lover of humanity. And the guy has an incredible story. And I'm proud to call him a friend.
Me too. Me too. What a conversation we had with him, Kris. And again, this is one, I think it was our longest one. And I think that I looked at the producer after we got done and I said, was that 30 minutes? And he goes, no, it was 50 some minutes. And I was like, holy cow. It just felt like everything just flew in that conversation. I don't know about you, but I walked away really, really understanding a lot more about a lot of different things. What an amazing man.
The thing about him too that I think is very impressive that he doesn't talk much about is that the amount of effects that G forces has on the brain and on the body when you're flying at those speeds and what it does to you is extremely damaging. And it's not even truly understood yet, but the resiliency that he has to come back and to keep doing more things to help people and to create more opportunities for others and make it look effortless and seamless is just a great way to cap off a beautiful season of resiliency masters, as we should probably refer to them.
What a great group of people we had in this season. And I'm just in awe. And I can't wait to next season, to get even the same amount of caliber of people. And Whiz was a conversation that it just flew by. I just couldn't believe how quick it went and how long it actually was. But I just love his story. I know that he got very vulnerable in this episode. So watch for the vulnerability and the authenticity because that's who truly he is. And as a friend, as a person, as a person that I can call, I know that I can call at any time. He is just an amazing man with a lot of wisdom.
It's a great little backstory on that whole thing too, is that I met him because of you, but you had not met him yet. You just had access to him. And then you referred him to me. We became friends. And then fast forward a year later, and I was able to contact him and he was happy to be on our show. And so it was kind of funny because I had not known that you had never met him, that you only knew of him and knew each other through social circles. And then this was your first chance to actually sit down and hear him talk. And, he's as humble as the day is long and as genuine as they get. And for somebody with the amount of accomplishments that he has, it's just impossible to say anything negative about this guy ever.
Ever. I couldn't agree with you more, Kris. And yeah, obviously in my social circles, he was introduced to me and we had a great couple conversations on the phone. I believe we had a Zoom together and we hadn't seen each other in person. And when I had introduced him to you, it was just like a fit. I just felt like, oh man, this guy can really help a lot of people. And not knowing what he's really capable of, he's helped me tremendously. And I just can't say enough about Whiz.
Yeah, no, he's an amazing guy. And also, by the way, if anybody's interested in donating to his nonprofit, he does take you for an incentive ride in his personal fighter jet. So I think it's a $20,000 donation will get you a ride. Just gave Eric Trump a ride, actually. What was that? A couple months back he did. You guys go check him out. This podcast is incredible. He certainly is going to cover everything that you got about resiliency and how he's bounced back many times over again. And so I'm excited for you guys to hear this. And you can get his gear from his website, I believe. So go check it out.
Yeah. And again, he offered to bring me up and I says, Whiz, I said, that's one thing that I don't think I can do, but it's just,
you might be the first person that's ever turned down
When he told me,
Anybody
he
never
said
said no.
one of the funniest things he ever told me. He goes, "You know, the first thing you want to eat before you go up with me is as a banana because it tastes the same going down that it does coming up." And I was like, "Okay, that's
Hey,
that's maybe not something I want to do."
yeah, it's certainly an interesting experience, especially when you're the passenger because you don't really know where that's gonna go. It's I imagine a lot different when you're driving, sort of like being in a car, except going Mach whatever. So I don't think there's anything else we can say. Do you? I mean, this is pretty much it, right? So here we go, Matthew Whiz Buckley.
And there's nothing I more love than air shows and watch them and how they maneuver and Wiz was taking me through that offline and just some of the things that some of his accomplishments. I can't wait for our listeners to hear this one, Kris. This is going to be a great one.
Yeah, this is a great one to finish up the season of amazing human beings and resiliency masters for sure. So here you go, guys. Enjoy.
Every voice carries a story. Every story carries a lesson, and every lesson can become a lifeline. On Voices of Resiliency, we sit down with warriors, healers, leaders, and everyday people who have walked through fire and found a way.